Welcome, everyone. It is finally college football season here. Week 0, the most important week of the year here. How you guys doing?
It's got to start somewhere.
That is true. I guess week 0, as shitty as some of these games are, it's technically week 0. It's better than the preseason, but the games aren't as good as week 1. So, like you said, we got to start somewhere. So, but Hans, I know we've had a little bit of a break here between pods. Everything been going good with you guys?
Can't complain. Had a good summer. Been
well, good, because I don't think anyone wants to hear it anyways, Trent.
Thanks.
I've been doing good. I've just been busy doing all the shit that I normally do. So travel.
Work and go home, right?
Yep. Well, work and go to the hotel most of the time.
Well, there you go. Well, like I said, even whether what life's going good or bad, we got football back in our lives here. So, Joey, you want to start with the
Yeah, man. As always, guys, we are back for our second season. We'll say this is the official start, even though we're only 3 of us instead of 5. But yeah, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Heartland Pulse, and then Facebook and YouTube. Just search Pulse of the Heartland. And if you're following us live, thank you very much. Go ahead and put some comments in there. We can see them on our feed now. And we've also updated our restream. So we are fully officially paying for this shit now. So yeah, we got all kinds of new features. You can see the new logo. You can see the Trent, point down to the scroll at the bottom. You can see all our cool stuff down there. Brian's got a bunch of updates and stuff loaded at the bottom. So, yeah, we are official, baby.
We are officially amateurs at this point.
Please watch this. We spent money on this.
Please help. Or Venmo me directly. I'll make sure it's everyone else. So
I was just going to say, damn, it feels good to be a podcaster.
Well, the first time we've been on time for a while, knock on wood, no technical difficulties. It does feel good right now. So
hell yeah.
Well, shit. So what are you guys sipping on?
Go ahead, Joey.
Oh, so I got some more beers from Milwaukee. Taylor, my sister-in-law's cousin, Nick, hooked me up again. They had a little family get-together thing. Drinking that Firefly again, and it's from Good City Brewing, and good alloy.
That's a beer.
I got a frosty mug for me, baby. Not only is it frosty, hopefully this covers the whole logo. This is great radio or podcast.
Yeah.
You're going to really wish you watched this live on YouTube.
Missing out on
and you can't even see it. It's a John Deere mug. Damn it. I was really going Heartland with this shit. But
nothing rides like a beer.
Only John Deere Bush lights will make that show.
That's probably
Trent, what do you got in your mug there?
So me and Joey must have had the same idea, going super classy for the start of season 2, I guess. But I also have a frosty mug. But I got Grain Belt Northeast is what's in there. So
nice.
Yeah, I love me some Northeast. It's good dark beer. They're darker lager out of Grain Belt up there in New Ulm, Minnesota.
I got a question for you and a story about some Grain Belt here real quick before we move on.
Okay.
Do it.
Did you ever hang out with my buddy Andy that was from Fort Dodge, went to St. Ed's and stuff?
I don't think so.
I thought he went to Tino's with us one night, but anyway, it doesn't matter. His dad would drive to Mason City to the fairway up there, and they always held back pallets that were about ready to expire, and he'd get them for a quarter of the price, and he would bring home pallets and pallets of Grain Belt. And the first time I ever had Northeast, I didn't have one. I think I had 30.
They're delicious.
It was like one of those stone cold things. I had 1 beer. I had 2 beers. And by the time I left, it was,
Sounds like Pringles, though, Joey. Yeah. Once you pop, you just can't stop.
Yeah. Exactly. So we always had a keg party after we built our house in Kansas. We'd have one every year. And we want to do one now that we live in South Dakota. We haven't done one. Maybe we'll get around to it this fall. But now that we're here, I was thinking, I should get a Grain Belt keg. Couldn't get those in Kansas, obviously.
Yes.
But could probably get one now.
Hell yeah.
What are you drinking, Bryant?
Well, I got inspired because we finally got some Targaryens back in our life. So I got some Mother's Milk here or I'm sorry, not mother's milk, dragon's milk. Jesus, I got two different alcohols mixed up here, but had it in Chicago for the first time a few years ago and loved it. So got some more of it, and I can tell you right now, this dragon's milk, it tastes like it came straight from the dragon's teat. I can tell you that much.
Oh.
So I'm guessing dragons have nipples then.
I don't know. Are we? Is that going to be the first debate of college football? Do dragons have nipples?
How else do you get their milk, Brian? You tell me.
I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me?
Well, dragons are asexual, so they are both male and female. So yeah. Wait, that's not asexual. What is that?
Oh, I swear,
What is it?
listeners, our college football knowledge is better than mystical creature nipples. That is.
They are like they're like lizards. They're both male and female, like some frogs and stuff. So yeah, yeah. Anyway,
do dragons have a clitoris? If so, where is it? I just for my own knowledge. It's for our UAB
season 2, baby.
Yeah,
Getting weird.
Pulling out all the stops here. Well, let's
Yes.
jump into at least some college football. We're about fucking 10 minutes into this thing, so I put this in here, and I think I want to try and stump you guys every week here. I got a trivia question for you, and I know the answer here. What SEC school has never played a game in its history west of the state of Texas?
It's got to. All right. Trent, do you have a guess, or do you want to deduce this together?
I was gonna guess something like super, like really close to Texas. Like you're saying, like they haven't traveled at all.
Okay.
So I was gonna say Arkansas.
Arkansas? Okay. Joey?
All right. So my reasoning, I'm going to go with Vandy. And my reasoning is I'm going with someone that probably hasn't played in a bowl game because those are usually West Coast or Gulf. They traditionally play smaller schools for their out of conference, and usually they're within the Nashville area, so the schools get the revenue from the Nashville stuff. Yeah, I'm going to stick with Vandy.
That was the
Vandy?
first thing that went to my head. And I thought it's got to be something crazy.
Well, you're both wrong. I was gonna say one. Vandy actually plays Hawaii this week, so they if it was before, they would have broke today. So that's
In
not
Hawaii?
the case. Yeah, they play at Hawaii.
Nice.
Wow.
But I would
So
say
wait,
this was
who's
actually,
paying who in that matchup?
Yeah.
fucking. They just probably pay each other. They just exchange a check at the end, each one to make them feel better.
Right.
Some would say, including the basketball coach, it's a basketball school.
Kentucky.
Really?
University of Kentucky. I saw it on Twitter, and I was like, no fucking way. And they have played at California schools in different schools west of Texas, but they've all been in Lexington or they've been in a bowl game like in Florida. But so they have never played in Mountain Time. They've never played in Pacific Time.
Wow. That's crazy.
So,
I would not have guessed that, especially with Mark Stoops' West Coast like ties and stuff being in Arizona and everything. Wow, that's crazy.
mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting to start the season here. So, but we'll I would say we got a few stories from basically from last week, and we weren't on, so screw you guys. We're gonna have to react to them real quick. First thing, just to go through, Monte Teo doc dropped last week on Netflix. Untold, the girlfriend who didn't exist. I got through the first half, and it was a little bit almost too cringy. I didn't finish the second half so far. I just felt so bad for him, but I mean, I think that's pretty much everyone at this point. What about what do you guys think?
So my first thoughts were I was yelling at the TV, "Fuck you," to the person that catfished him because not only do I think they're a piece of shit, but they also went on this documentary talking about how their life has changed for the better. So for those that don't know, the person is transsexual and went to a commune and found themselves and then like is living their life so happy now. That motherfucker cost him at least $40 million fucking dollars and has ruined his life and his reputation forever. Like most players, when they leave the NFL, I'm sure he's got NFL money left over and stuff just because his family was super disciplined, and that comes with some of the not Samoan, but that regional
Polynesian.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm sure he's got money left over from that and stuff. But most NFL players can like find other jobs and do like sponsorships at car dealerships and stuff. No one will fucking touch this guy anymore. So I really, really hate that person.
So yeah, I watched both episodes. I thought it was a great documentary. You know, I'd kind of forgot about a lot of that stuff. But you know, when it first come out, you think like he was in on it, you know, because the media started saying that. And then and now watching this documentary, I'm like, okay, there's no way this, you know, Manti was actually in on it. And you kind of feel for the guy now. It's just like the first thing that pops in your head is how can you not fall for this, but let it go for that long? Like you're Notre Dame, you played in LA where supposedly Lene Kikuya lived, but they never saw each other. It's just too weird. Like, how could you go that long without knowing?
Yeah.
But no, the documentary was great. Yeah, I feel for Manti, I guess. But I think Manti Te'o, he's got to be a good person. I mean, he totally forgave. I can't remember their name, Tuiasa Sopo or whatever.
We don't even need to say it because fuck them.
Yeah. And
sorry.
But he's just like, I forgive them. And in all this, like, I don't know, Manti Te'o's got to be like one of the nicest people ever. He's like second to Tim Tebow or something. I don't know.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's what I took away from it. And again, if he can forgive him, you know, where are we to say that we can't? I mean, I didn't, like I said, I couldn't watch that second half so far. I'm going to have to power through it, but it was just like, you know, think of it how the the early age of just this digital age of social media and stuff. Again, you're kind of trusting everyone, especially like they said, they have a tight knit family. Oh, I know your cousin. They go, okay, well, who the hell would lie about that, you know?
Yeah, like catfishing wasn't like huge then. It wasn't widely known yet. I mean, it's 2009 when he first like met them. So like catfishing, I don't want to say it wasn't a thing, but it wasn't as widely known. Like there wasn't an MTV show called Catfishing yet. So I could see how it would start, but for it to last 3 years, it's crazy to me.
No, absolutely insane. So I like we said, we feel for the guy. And you know, it sounds like he's at peace as well. So hopefully, you know, hopefully he can move forward. And people seeing this, I think hopefully, like you said, these kind of, you know, the after NFL career, he can have one. You know.
Yeah. Right.
So. But just kind of move on, and say, because we don't want to take up too much long, so we can talk about the Week 0 games here. Texas, they named – what's that? Go ahead.
Sorry, one last thing I did want to touch on. Like Trent said, the doc was very good. I did really enjoy how they went from he was talking about how he was going to USC and stuff, and then he's very Christian, and then he got drawn to Notre Dame because Jesus told him to, basically. Which is cool, regardless of what your beliefs and stuff are. But then going through like how he stood out as a freshman and then came up through the ranks of Notre Dame and like is in Notre Dame lore as like one of the best defensive players they've ever had. I thought that was fucking awesome. I loved how they covered that in the documentary.
Yeah. When we were watching it, I told my wife, I'm like, I forgot like that he was a Heisman finalist and just like how good he was.
My only question really, because that was in episode 1, I did see it. Whoever community member or the pastor, whoever talked to him, why couldn't they have said something like, God, you got to hit him hard like a cyclone? And he's like, I got to go to Iowa State. I mean, like they mentioned one thing and he changed his whole mindset. So if we would have had an Ames resident in there, we might have landed Monte at that point. So
2009, who was the coach? Was that Paul Rhodes or was that Gene Chizik? That would have been Paul Rhodes.
That would have been Gene. No, that would have been Paul Rhodes. That would have been his first year.
Gene would have recruited him. Paul Rhodes would have coached him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, they had some good linebackers. Like
that would have been the most stacked
AJ Klein
in the country.
Jake,
not AJ Klein and Monte Te'o. That's 3 NFL linebackers right there.
That's true. Yeah.
Holy shit! You guys might have beat Iowa that year.
Yeah. Okay.
We probably did.
So, but I'd say moving on here. Texas, they named Quinn Ewers a starter versus Louisiana Monroe, which I think we all could have called last year when we heard about him transferring. Not, unfortunately, not just because of his talent, but because I think of his name and everything that came with it. You know, the Ohio State transfer, the $1 million NIL deal. The one interesting thing, though, and was getting on the Longhorn message boards and stuff, was that there was rumors that Hudson Card was expected to be the starter, and then and again, this is all rumors, but it sounds like boosters kind of intervened, and then just out of nowhere, they just unexpectedly in a random conference just said Quinn Ewers was a starter. So,
you know, if those are rumors coming out of the locker room, those aren't rumors. That I'm guessing that was 100% true.
Yeah,
I can totally see that happen. I mean, they're the ones paying Sark basically his salary. I mean, money talks.
Well, and if you hadn't heard so much before about boosters doing that with every other coach that hasn't really succeeded there, you know, this makes more sense now. Like all of a sudden you have the established QB, but they're going, well, we're paying this kid $1 million, so now you have to start him, you know?
Yep. Welcome to the era of NIL.
Yeah.
So we don't have to stay on this for too long, but where do you guys think this is? Because we've talked about this extensively before. Where do you guys think this is going to end up? Are going to have regulations on who can and do what with the money, right? And then also, this isn't going to be able to be a norm. Like, I wouldn't think boosters should be able to do that type of shit, but
have they always? I mean, they never really should have ever been able to do it, but they've been doing it anyways. You know,
that's probably true too.
I don't know. For the booster stuff, I mean, honestly, boosters NIL, I don't know. They need to have some regulations on that. But then you hear of who is the LSU Miles Brennan, who just stepped away from the game, and he gets to keep $1 million because Raising Cane's 2 years in a row, they've had Miles Brennan back out this year and said he was retiring or quitting. And then last year they sponsored Spencer Rattler for $1 million, and then he wasn't a starter by the middle of the season. So I think Raising Cane's is pretty pissed about NIL. That's all I got to assume.
Right. They're not going to sponsor anybody now.
Man, but have you seen the lines when those places open? I mean, they're raking in some fucking dough, so I think they're okay.
So they can afford it.
I don't know if I've ever seen one.
Really?
They got one in Des Moines. Well, you're not even close to Des Moines. I don't know if they got them in South Dakota, bud.
I don't know. Is there one in Sioux Falls?
Well, you'll have to look it up. But if their dipping sauces cost an extra quarter next time you go, you know why? Because they lost all that money on Miles.
It's a lot of dipping sauce.
But speaking of not losing any money, Nick Saban, holy shit, he gets paid again. He's up to I think 11, and he's going to average $11.7 million. Still the highest paid coach in college football. And I was just telling Joey, I was trying to find a graphic to show where we were in modern times, and I just put I think it was Saban highest paid coach, and I had to specify the year because I found graphs all the way back to 2011 where he was the highest paid coach at 5.2 at that point. So 5.2 million. So, I mean, extended through 2030. Honestly, my opinion, I think Alabama's getting a steal with him.
Yeah, I saw the thing that I was reading about him is he became the first coach to go over $100 million in career earnings last year. And he's going to make almost that in the next, 8 years?
Yeah.
This coach or this contract doesn't expire until he's 79. Do you think he plays that out? Yeah.
11 and a half million until they kick him out. And it's kind of, he's probably got the Mark Stoops contract too. We'll keep extending you until you just are done, you know.
They're going to have to drag him off the field like Joe Paterno.
God, I feel bad because I almost feel like this is just reminiscent of Bear Bryant, who coached his whole life, and then the month that he retired, he died. You know, his life was football, and once he was done with football, he just perished at that point. Yeah. So that's what I feel like. Saban, like said, going to 79.
Joe Pa, he died how long after he quit coaching? Not long.
Yep.
Yeah.
I saw your chat there, Joey. Norfolk, Nebraska is the closest Raising Cane's for me. Not going. Last time I drove
I don't
through
blame
there,
you. I wouldn't go through the Nebraska
Right.
either, man.
I hit a deer 10 miles north of there the last time I was driving south through Norfolk, Nebraska.
Man.
Well,
Well, I can share my
I guess
screen. I got a bunch of them in Iowa if you want to check that out. But
yeah. Well, you're not even remotely close to going to Des Moines, so I would say that's the only one I knew of in the area.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but speaking of getting paid as well, Big Ten Conference, they signed a 7-year, $7 billion media deal with CBS, Fox, and NBC. Deal estimates to pay the school roughly $100 million per year, and there's room to grow, which I don't know. I believe that's not only pay per year, but I think that opens the door to expansion as well.
Yep.
And going back to NIL, just think the players won't see one penny of that 100 million per school per
Not
year. Not
Nope.
one.
Kirk Ferentz will be making like $40 million next year, and I can't stand that.
$40 million. That's a $1 million for every punt this year.
Yeah.
Yep. That's every punt per game. So
That's true.
I mean, obviously being a Big Ten fan, I love that. Go Hawks. I love the revenue coming in. It's a lot of fucking money. The only thing I don't like about the deal is the Peacock streaming stuff. Everyone knows how I feel about streaming services and how shitty they can be covering big events like that. But hopefully Peacock gets better. I don't know. I hope all of the big games are on, excuse me, the network stuff, whether it be Fox, CBS, that type of stuff, NBC.
Yeah. So I was going to jump into that real quick as well. The deal, so it starts in July 2023. So the conference championship, obviously the biggest game, that they'll alternate between those three networks. And then the other big thing on this one, with it only being a 7-year deal, it's going to allow them in 2030 to renegotiate their contract. I think it's 3 years before the SEC. So not only you have the largest media deal right now, you also get to renegotiate it before Big Ten and SEC are 1 and 2. I mean, Big Ten's going to be able to renegotiate with how fast money is growing in college football. That's just going to get you even more at that point.
Yep. So there's also another key thing with this. When Apple and Amazon step into these type of things, they don't have to ask for television rights. They can just start streaming these games. So the Big Ten in any conference technically can double up on the games and get revenue for this shit. So like Apple could stream all of the college football games they want and pay each conference like $1 billion and still get viewers through just their own streaming platform. I found that out the other day on another podcast I was listening to. I was like, man, that is crazy. But so Amazon had to, because the NFL is a publicly owned type of thing. Like you can buy stock and shit in it and that type of thing. So that is the reason that they have to negotiate with the TV rights and make sure that the schedules and stuff line up. The college football is not that way. And we all know how college football is the wild, wild west now with everything else anyway. I would not be surprised to see Apple throwing money at all these conferences to get all of their games. Yeah,
just get any additional content. I mean that's the name of the game right now. All these streaming platforms. I mean, with Paramount Plus, CBS is going to start. I think they're going to start being aggressive, and so more aggressive than they already are. I mean, it's they need content, and live sports is about the one true one that isn't going to flop. You're always going to have a market for it.
Right.
So. I don't know. I'm pretty jealous of that money. And so I know the Big 12, they've been trying to renegotiate a deal. Hopefully we can get some. We won't get Big 10 money, but I'm hoping we can start seeing an increase and maybe even intrigue some other conferences to come in, because speaking of the Big 10 renegotiating, the Oregon there's an Oregon Duck representative. They had flown out to Chicago, and apparently there's rumors about them still trying to pursue entrance into the Big 10 here.
Yeah, I saw that, and the first thing that came into my mind was the Big 12, because obviously I'm an Iowa State fan, because they were one that was when UCLA and USC went to the Big 10, that was one of the schools that was like, oh, the Big 12 going to go after them. And now that they're kind of going after the Big 10, trying to get in there, I'm kind of worried. I'm like, okay, Big 12 needs to make a move. Like, now.
Yes.
They need to go get Arizona State, Colorado, whoever.
that was the exact thing I was thinking of, was with the Big 12. I guess from our end, I'm always going to be biased towards them as well. But if you are the four corner schools we've been we've been rumored to go after and looking at, and for travel partners for out in Lubbock and BYU who's joining, is Utah, Colorado, and the two Arizona schools. If you hear of the big brand, the one of the two big brands, I'm sorry, that's just a fact right now, and I hate the even term going around, but the top two brands, if the top one in Oregon with Nike money is looking to leave you, how do you not look to jump ship right now and join a conference that is at least going to be, if you join, going to be a solid number 3 right now conference?
Yeah, when you hear the Pac-12, who do you think of? Like, what teams do you think of? USC and Oregon, and they're both gone. Like, Oregon's still there right now, but they're gonna be gone.
So, has anyone heard anything from Washington? Like, are they just sitting there doing nothing? Like,
have fun in the Mountain West.
Yeah, that makes no fucking sense because they're the other big player with the Arizona schools left.
Washington State, maybe.
I don't think Washington would get left out, to be honest. If anything, if it turned into Washington has to, relegate and potentially Mountain West, I bet you they just stay independent. They're a big enough brand and a big enough school where they'd be able to run like a Notre Dame, and until they got into a conference, I think, they'd be able to run independent. But I would say, obviously Big 12, I'm thinking at least those 4 that we mentioned. And and the other 2 that we're looking at was Oregon and Washington. And again, this is all very speculative. There's nothing even really set in stone. This is just wishy-washy. But I would say I'm just hoping if Oregon really is trying to push the big Yormack, who's now officially in office and can do stuff, he starts making a play and strengthen our conference. We went through it the opposite way last year, and we thankfully got the 4 top markets that we could have. And 4 best teams from G5 and BYU as independent. It's not looking as good for the Pac-12 right now unless they pick up a Boise State, San Diego State, and there's rumors of them even trying to take Houston before they go to the Pac-12. But again, this is just make-believe right now until something official happens.
Yeah. Yeah, it's everything speculation until it happens. And that's years, a couple years down the road.
Yeah, exactly.
So, speculate a little more. What would you like to see happen as a Big 12 fan? Would you like to see them get Oregon, Washington, everyone like that, just basically west of the Mississippi?
Well, so here's my thought. We're not going to get Oregon now because they've contacted the Big Ten. I think the Big Ten's like, we'll take in, we'll make this conference as big as we want. Yeah, sure. You want in? Let's go. Right. They're a big brand.
They make more money.
Their money. Yeah, they're big brand. They're big money.
Yeah.
So I like as we said, the 4 corner schools. So Colorado, Arizona State, Arizona, Utah. I would love to see Colorado back in the Big 12. I think they fit better in the Big 12 than they ever did in the Pac-12. So I would like to see them back. Those would be the 4 schools I'd like to see join. So that would make us 16? Yeah. Because the Big 12 has 12 again when this all happens in 2 years. So I don't know. I that's what I think will happen. But again, we'll see.
Yeah, I'd agree with those 4 schools because I think at that point, unless you added with the 4 corner schools, unless you added Washington and Oregon, which they don't, they've been adamantly not wanting to join the Big 12 and go down in their minds. But those would be the only other 2 that I could think right now that are, unless the only other speculation I've heard is the ACC if they start to disband because the rumors of Clemson, Miami, Florida State jumping to the SEC, or even other ACC schools, North Carolina and stuff, jumping to the Big Ten. So unless that destabilizes as well, and we could throw in some geographical schools closer to West Virginia and now UCF at that point, again all up in the air. I trust Yormark. I trust that they're going to do what they need to survive. We did it last year, and we're going to continue doing it again this year.
Yeah, man, he was Jay-Z's whatever he was, manager, whatever. He's going to do big things in the Big 12.
he saw Jay-Z once walking down a hallway in the same building, so they're pretty tight right now.
Yeah.
Hey, I almost shook Magic Johnson's hand one time while I was
Almost.
in LA. Almost. Then I didn't want to get sick.
You thought about it, huh? And then thought against it.
Is he going to donate blood?
He's going to a
That was
charity
a big
event.
rumor that came out, but it's false.
I knew that was going to be brought up. Yes, he did not donate blood.
Okay. So I got to know. We have somebody here, you know, following along, commenting. It's Don Play. So what's your team? I got to know.
Yeah, I would
Who
say
do you follow?
Let us know what who your favorite team is here, but we'll you know, we've done a lot of speculating. We'll wait for Don to answer here. Honestly, we've done so much speculating in old news. Let's finally get into some real fucking football. Week 0, when real football actually begins. So I would say I threw on what I figured were the most relative games this weekend. So sorry, I'll read them. I'll read them across the bottom because it is kind of smaller writing. We'll start with Nebraska. They're 12.5-point favorites versus Northwestern. They're playing in Dublin at 12:30 in Fox. The next relevant, Wyoming, is 10.5-point underdogs at Illinois at 4 o'clock. That one's going to be on Big Ten Network. And then the last one, like we mentioned earlier, Vanderbilt, they're 6.5-point favorites at Hawaii at 10:30 o'clock. 10:30 o'clock, Jesus, 10:30 p.m. on CBS Sports. So we got football back. You guys got any thoughts on this? On any of these games? Sorry.
Go ahead, Trent.
It's meaningful football. Finally. Week 0. But like we said, I mean, I said this in our text with all of us the other day that, I mean, we've got the 2 teams battling for 4th place in the Big 12 or the Big 10 West. I'm watching it. Don't care. Now, week 2, week 5, week 8, definitely not watching this game, but I'm watching it.
Now, there's been it's not even a theory, it's happened. The last 4 years, Northwestern, because you're saying they're 4th place teams, Northwestern has either finished dead last in the division or they've won the division and go to the conference championship. So which is it this year, Trent? They were last year. Do they jump and go ahead and go to the conference championship this week? Or this year, sorry?
Last. Nebraska's a 12.5-point favorite. Do you think that they cover that? Or do you think I don't think Northwestern you think Nebraska covers the 12.5, or do you think Northwestern does?
I think Nebraska covers.
Okay. I see Joey shaking his head. No.
Yeah, Northwestern's going to win the game. So
too many pukes.
Yeah, too many pukes. Yeah,
pukes. I mean, practice.
I've said it a million times. I just do not trust Scott Frost, and I don't trust anything that he's doing with that team. This puking stuff comes out. I trust him even less now. I think Nebraska was the best 3-win team of all time last year, and their coach let them down. They should have had more wins last year. And I know I'm a Nebraska hater, and everyone knows that, and everyone knows.
I was about to say, notably unbiased Nebraska commentator Joey, who's never said anything bad about the state or university in general. But go on.
Exactly. But I will give them their credit. They were a good team last year, just super undisciplined. That comes from the coaching staff. And until Scott Frost leaves there, I think it's going to be the same way. And now he's letting other coaches make his players puke and stuff. That just looks terrible and looks like he's reaching for shit. I don't trust him whatsoever.
Yeah, that's a lie. They're not puking 15 times a practice.
But what benefit is it to let that out in the media, though? That's if you let that out.
Frost is a stupid, pathological liar.
My point exactly.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
I know, that's what I'm saying. He's a dumbass.
I think he said that shit just to get in good with Nebraska supporters. They hear 90s football. We were roided up. We were eating steaks. We were puking every practice. We were winning national championships. That's what they want to hear. These kids are playing tough in practice, and they're puking. That's all they want to hear. I mean, I'm going to go with what Trent said. He believes Northwestern finishes last in that division, so I'm going with Nebraska covers. I'm saying it's
Now,
right now this game. I love Nebraska.
I don't think Nebraska covers. I think it'll be closer, but I don't think Northwestern wins.
Well, the one big move you got to remember though is they don't have Martinez there anymore, so he's not going to literally throw the game away for them. So
how good has Nebraska been? And now he is Kansas State's savior. They're going to win the Big 12 this year because they have Martinez.
Oh, drinking the purple Kool-Aid, huh?
Hey, you ask anybody in Manhattan, that's what's going to happen because they have Taylor Martinez. Do you know how good he was in Nebraska? You know how many turnovers he had?
Hey, kudos to Dublin, Ireland. They're getting a Big Ten primetime game for them. It's going to be 7:30 at night their time for them.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Well, I mean, we've said it before. The first few games will really dictate was this Martinez's issues or was this Scott Frost. So, I think it was Martinez, but we'll definitely have to see how that one breaks down.
I don't know. Martinez, when you play 30 games and have like 36 turnovers, the coach ain't making you do that.
No, I agree. Wyoming at Illinois. Any thoughts on that one? I don't think Josh Allen's playing for Wyoming, and I don't think Juice Williams is playing for Illinois. So Illinois did name Tommy
Juice Williams.
Yeah, Juice Williams.
That is a name I haven't heard in a while. Okay. And if you said Wyoming, I would have said Jared Allen, but whatever.
Oh, shit. I'm a terrible Chiefs fan for not naming Jared Allen there.
He was a Viking.
Okay, let's settle down there. He probably had. I'm trying to think of like classic NFL celebrations. I loved his lasso and throwing his arms up. Let's see, Sean Merriman with the lights out. I would say I'm trying to think of classic ones, but Jared Allen's I always loved every damn sack doing the tie him up and rodeo.
Hog tying the calf.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree here.
So the over-under is 50.5 in that Northwestern Nebraska game. Is that what you put up there?
Yeah, that's what Don said.
Okay.
Golly. Honestly, yeah. As much as I was hyping up Nebraska, yeah, if it were me, if I put a bet on there, I'd probably go under, just because I don't think Northwestern's going to do anything, and if I think Nebraska's going to cover, I mean, they can cover at 14-0. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of offense. I think this will be a lot of defense.
I would go under on that as well.
I would go under 50.5 in every Big Ten game in the rest of my life. Like,
thank you.
Especially Big Ten West. 50.5 points is a shootout for the Big Ten. So,
Joey's that's his get rich quick scheme. Just go under in all the Big Ten games.
Yep, exactly.
It's just like we were talking about the CBS getting the Big Ten, and then like all those videos going around with the CBS college football music where you're thinking of the SEC and it's just all the Big Ten teams punting. That's what it is.
It's such a beautiful video. I love it. Torrey Taylor, Heisman, baby.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Let's see. Yeah, Wyoming, Illinois. Again, that's going to be at that point you're going, okay, this is a week 0 football for sure, but again, it's football, so. And I would say, and then like we said, Vanderbilt. I don't know if they're paying Hawaii or vice versa, but they can enjoy a nice little stay on the island, and they're 6.5 point favorites at 10:30 at night, at least our time here. I mean, SEC versus I think WAC. I believe Hawaii is. I mean, I got to assume Vandy's covering, but I mean, you can never count out the Rainbow Warriors with that huge time change. How much earlier they're playing? I mean. That could be a huge difference right there.
I got a stupid question. I've always thought about this with Hawaii. How are they not better? You'd think that would be the easiest recruiting tool of all time. Hey, do you want to live in Hawaii for 4 years?
Yeah.
It's awesome here. Like, you think you could get any recruit to come to Hawaii?
I mean, if they have any relation to Aaron Rodgers, you think that would be the best thing? I have to live in Hawaii, and I'm so far away that I can't visit my family all the time. Fucking sign me up right now.
Aaron Rodgers, why did he go to Cal? He should have went to Hawaii.
I mean, the other good thing that I know this will sell you guys are going to Hawaii. I mean, they don't have, obviously, around here we got livestock and everything. They have to import everything. So I hear they eat a lot of spam out there too.
Smoke that spam on your Pit Boss smoker. Yes.
Who needs a smoker when you just have a fire pit? You can just do the roast the full pig over an open fire. That's what you do in Hawaii. You don't put it on a Pit Boss trend.
That's true. That is true.
Hey, you just dig a hole in the sand and put your fire down there, and then with the pig on the open spit. Just FYI, Vandy is a 9-point favorite in that game. And the over-under is
I literally checked that 2 hours ago because I wanted to make sure all my notes were correct. So
what happened in the last 2 hours?
Yeah. What the hell happened?
Oh, so I'm going off of ESPN. If you're going off of CBS or whatever you were going off of.
I'm just going Action Sports. So that is what the BetMGM has.
Okay.
UTEP plus 100 over North Texas. UTEP was like undefeated last year. Heck yeah, I'd take that.
No, you're thinking UTSA.
Oh, UTSA. Yeah. Bad.
Here's a question: does Florida State get enough people to the game versus Duquesne that would fill Duquesne Stadium, or do their fans just not show up?
How many can fill Duquesne?
4,000. It's smaller than Simpson College.
Jesus.
Yep.
You said Florida State?
Yeah, Florida State versus Duquesne.
So they just don't have people go to their games anymore? Like, how far has Florida State fallen, man?
Yeah, I know.
Like,
since Jimbo was there.
Jameis Winston, and now they can't
eating the W's.
Now they can't even get people to go to their games.
All I heard, I'm trying to check some stats here, doing the eating the W's. Get the fuck out of here. Though I am excited for him to come back in the NFL. It's not the same without him throwing a bunch of interceptions. Now that he has LASIK and everything.
His LASIK, he can see the defense now.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm overall pumped for this weekend just because, like you said, there's football, and I will be at a cross country meet for most of the day.
What? Lucky.
Yeah.
You never came and watched me run cross country, you jerk.
That's right, I didn't. I was too busy eating breakfast pizza after I played football the night before.
Don, if I would take UTEP plus 100 versus or over North Texas, I would not. I'd probably take North Texas in that one. I'm just looking at the last 5 games. UTEP is on a they've lost 4 or 5. North Texas, I know nothing about them, but they've won 4 or 5. I mean, I got to take the one with the winning record there.
Right. Bryant's going with my UFC strategy here, but those games were last year. I don't know if you knew this.
I would say, well, I got no knowledge of those 2 games. If I have to make a snap decision, I'd have to choose that. But
I like it, man. You're going with trends.
By the way, with the Hawaii answer, I do agree with you, Blaine. The real answer is lack of exposure. No one wakes 100%. Up until 11 p.m. at night to watch these games. And
I was thinking the same. I was like, Bryant's picking North Texas because they used to have Dan McCarney as their coach.
Yeah. Or as Blaine calls it, the residual Dan McCarney juice. That is a terrible phrasing, I think, but I appreciate it.
I think half the world has residual Dan McCarney juice.
He's coached everywhere.
I'm pretty sure that's just what you call swamp ass. When you get up and there's that line there, that's residual Bryant juice, residual Dan McCarney juice, just swamp ass when you leave it there. So, oh shit. So, I really did. There was a few others like Utah State and North New Mexico State. I really didn't look too much others in the week 0. I tried to pick the most prominent ones here, but while Joey's grabbing his next beer here, we'll just kind of jump into some hot takes for the season here. And I'll just go first with mine. Kind of going on with my Nebraska love here, mostly because we don't have to deal with them anymore in the Big 12. So I've kind of, they've kind of grown on me a bit. My hot take: Nebraska will start 3-1, but they're not going to lose to Oklahoma. They're going to lose to North Dakota. They're going to beat Northwestern cover. They're going to have a trap game in 6 days. Lose to North Dakota State North Dakota. The following week, and then they're going to beat Georgia Southern, I believe, and then they're going to beat Oklahoma because Venables is not all that hyped up to be until I see something. He's been a coordinator forever. Oklahoma lost so many pieces this year. I think Nebraska finally pulls it off. and then Joey's going to start getting a little scared that his punting team with somewhat of an offense might actually not allow Nebraska to piss it down their leg this year.
Nebraska is going to stumble more than you getting through the first part of that schedule in your sentence. It's going to be terrible. They are going to be atrocious this year. And yes, I'm coming at you.
Well, that's fine. Who do they lose to in those first 4 games? They lose to Northwestern?
I already start out 0-4. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely think they lose to Northwestern and Oklahoma. The other 2 are their out of conference ones. Yeah, they'll probably win those 2. Would you say one with North Dakota?
Yeah, North Dakota, and then Georgia Southern.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't win those, that's an even bigger red flag. So I will be crying tears of joy when they lose those. But I think they go 2-2. I don't think they lose to Oklahoma. I know Oklahoma may be overrated or whatnot, but man, they're better than Nebraska. Okay. Not so much the players. Like I said, I don't think the players are bad. I think they get good recruits. I have no faith in Scott Frost.
Yeah. All righty, Trent. Going to your hot take. What's your take on Oklahoma?
My hot take on Oklahoma is they are extremely overrated. What are they?
Agree.
I think they're preseason 8. I think
8
that's
or
what
9.
they are.
Yeah, they're top 10 though.
Yeah. And then my second half of that is they'll finish 3rd or worse in the conference this year. Baylor's going to win the conference.
Yeah.
They won the conference last year. They're still loaded. I think Oklahoma State is going to be tough. I think Oklahoma State probably gets 2nd in the conference. So that puts you at 3rd or worse. So that could be Oklahoma. A lot of people are saying K-State. Again, Taylor Martinez, we'll see. Could be Iowa State, could be TCU. All in there. The middle of the Big 12 is like all right there. It's tough to say.
Yeah.
But I just think Oklahoma, I think they're overrated. Vegas has their over under at like 9 wins, 9.5, something like that. It's not even so they're going to win, lose 3 games. You have them losing to Nebraska.
Have you?
So I think they're overrated.
Have you seen their schedule though? I mean, if you go by the ESPN rankings, they don't play a ranked team until Baylor in November. Mm-hmm. Like their schedule is set up for them to still be good. They may be overrated. I hope you're right, and I hope I don't like seeing Oklahoma win.
According to you, they schedule nobody in the out of conference, so that I would say
right.
So I mean, again, they set up an easy schedule. I mean, they got to have those easy games in the out of conference, but I just think I agree with you, Trent. I think they've just lost too many pieces. I would say I kind of agree with your order. I think Baylor right now, consensus number 1 until we see different. Oklahoma State, they lost a lot of pieces on defense, and it's all going to come down to that Sanders. If he plays well, they can win the conference with him again. But if he plays more like an athlete like he did last year at times, I mean, they got to be perfect this year. They don't have that staunch defense, as well as they did last year in order to carry them. Oklahoma, I mean, they might have a way better defense, but who knows with that offense with a brand new quarterback, new system, everything. Kansas State, everything's got to go perfect for them. Who else was that? Texas. I got to see what Sark can actually do before I make I've already talked enough shit about them. It gets boring at this point. And then, who was it? TCU, actually. If I had to choose one dark horse in the Big 12, it's going to be them with Sonny Dykes. But we're going to have to see what actually happens with Oklahoma here. But
with Oklahoma, like I said, I think they lose. Baylor. Baylor's going to win the conference. I think they lose to Baylor. Mm-hmm. I think they lose to Oklahoma State. There's 2 losses right there. They stumble and lose one more game. They're at 9 wins. That's their under. That's going under on their total right there.
I mean, they got
probably to KU.
To the KU, is that what you said?
That would be awesome.
I hope they become relevant again. Like I love the easy win, and I don't want them to overtake, I would say, but I just want them, because it's always in the Big Ten has it as well. It's like oh, the Big Ten. What about Rutgers and Indiana? And you're going, oh, they're not representative of the whole crew. Same thing with Kansas, but At least they got their football. They can beat the shit out, or basketball to beat the shit out of us there, and we just beat the shit out of them in football. But
Joey will appreciate this. I did see a thing the other day. It was from KU Athletics. It was a tweet. It was a video that said, in honor of 11 days till kickoff, here's our 11 touchdowns versus Nebraska in 2008.
Yes.
And it showed all of KU's, like Todd Reesing just slinging the ball.
That is awesome.
I don't like to admit it because obviously very, very biased Cyclone fans, but someone was like, I think it was Gambling Gauchos, or like top 10 quarterbacks in the Big 12 history, and like Vince Young and all them. And like based on voting, Todd Reesing beat out Brock Purdy. I'm like, there's no fuck way. Those two have very similar like stat lines within like 1,000 yards of passing. I think it's like within 10 touchdowns of each other. Interceptions, same thing. But I was just like, I didn't realize how good Reesing actually was. You hear about the Orange Ball all the time, but fuck, he had very similar stats to Purdy.
Yeah, we went to Lawrence that year to the Iowa State game, and they beat the living shit out of Iowa State. It was bad.
Yeah. It's funny because the one Lawrence game I've been in, I think there was only 12,000 people there, and I could hear the quarterback audibling from like 10 rows up in the stands. How filled were the stands that year?
Absolutely sold out. It was crazy. Yeah. That's awesome. No, the last game I went to is obviously I lived about 2 hours from Lawrence when I lived in Kansas. So I went to a few games there, and there was no more than about 3,000 people in the whole stadium. So.
When I went, it was kind of like wholesome, and it was kind of fun because again, we knew what the outcome was going to be, so there's no shit talking. We're all just kind of having a casual conversation, and I saw a woman knitting that game, and they were literally just they're sitting down, they're like, "So Todd, how's the kids?" And games going on, full blown action. They're like, "Oh yeah, we got to rake the leaves. Who gives a shit?" Bullshit. And then it was halftime. They're like, okay, we've seen enough. See you guys next week. And then they just pick it up. And everyone in the stands was Big 12, was Iowa State at the whole second half there.
But yeah, so David, yes, that was Mizzou with Chase Daniel.
Yep.
Big Chiefs guy there, Bryant. And then and Blaine, yeah, that was with Mangino.
And West Virginia almost made the championship game that year with Pat White and Steve Slayton.
Yeah, and Pat McAfee.
Was that
Pat McAfee?
Yeah. And they had Aqib Talib that year. He was starting Little League football fights now.
Well, real quick, this here, this is what I love about college football. And then we had Aqib Talib, and you're just naming random people from fucking a decade ago because they made such a fucking impact in your life, man.
Yeah. Exactly. When you beat Iowa State by 150 points, you're going to remember. I still
remember
that.
Joey beating the shit out of me in NCAA football with Pat White and Steve Slayton. What the fuck was speed option every fucking play?
Yeah. Yep. And then everyone thought, oh, it's going to be bad, because the next year, I can't remember who the quarterback was, but Noel Devine was there. And I'm like, fuck no, I just reloaded, baby. I won multiple national championships.
Hold on. So Noel Devine, thank you for saying that, because I sent it to you, Joey. You want to know how old we fucking are? His son is in college now.
Yep.
Oh my
God.
Yeah.
Noel Devine, who is
So here's something, speaking of his son in college, this is insane to me. I was watching or listening to Bryant probably listens to the Cyclone Fanatic podcast, the Fart podcast, Football and Random Things, the Fart podcast. Okay. They were talking, they just went around to every Big 12 school and Google search their fall camp to see what the biggest storyline was. West Virginia's was they just had a 7th grader quarterback on campus for an official visit. He's 12.
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy? This kid's eligibility in college football will not run out for another 10 years. I will be 45 years old.
Hey,
isn't that crazy?
Hey, young man, I know you don't know what the Bill of Rights are, but you want to play for our university in 6 years?
Yeah, he's 7th grader. He was like his stats. He's like 5'8", 150 pounds. Like, what if he just stops growing right there? Is he going to be an awesome recruit now? No.
I hope
Wait,
so.
Hold on a second. I was 5'8", 165 in 7th grade. Why wasn't I getting, shit?
Yeah.
Man.
What university was that,
That's
Trent? Call him up and just tell him our co-host was the exact same size as that kid.
right.
Do not pursue. Give it a couple more years. See,
Running
it was-
70-yard trick play
it's
touchdowns in
West Virginia. West Virginia.
West Virginia, Morgantown. We got to get out there sometime, man. Morgantown just looks
That
like a fucking
seems
awesome time.
so fun. Yes.
Yep.
Pulse of the
Yes.
Heartland field trip.
Hell yeah.
Oh
Point
shit!
at that
Well,
logo,
fine.
Trent.
There it is, over in that direction. All
There it
right,
is.
Joey, what is your hot take here?
So every year, including this year, we hear about all the fucking teams that were back that used to be dynasties back in the day. This year, and every other year, it's Texas. Some years we get USC, blah, blah, blah. My pick, the U. Miami's back with Mario Cristobal, baby. Hell yeah. Do it. I think the U comes back. I think they win the ACC in his first year, and I think they make a big run towards the playoffs. They have a pretty favorable schedule. They don't play very many ranked teams. They got Clemson and Texas A&M, and that's about it. Pittsburgh at the end of the year, but I don't think Pittsburgh will be ranked at the end of the year now that Pickett's gone. But the big gauge will be see what they do September 19th against Texas A&M, see if they can hold their own and, also win that game. If they win that game, that's a ton of momentum moving forward because they don't have very many good teams to play against them after that. So, yeah,
There we go.
I love
I got the
Miami.
schedule pulled up here.
Yep, everyone knows they're my second or third favorite football team in NCAA. So, yeah. And I also listen to a lot of Dan Lebitard podcasts. So, yeah.
So,
We
okay,
all
I
keep
know
inching
Iowa.
track of your top 7.
I know Iowa. And then, so U is second or third. Who's the other one in the top 3?
West Virginia and then LSU.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep. And then I'll just go with Mizzou since they're close. And I've been to their stadium multiple times. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you picked good teams and then you level it out with Mizzou at the bottom there, Joey. So,
Hey,
but
we
no,
just talked about Mizzou being ranked number 1 not too long ago.
Well, true, yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
SEC homer. Yeah, well, we won that many national championships.
Exactly.
Oh shit! Missouri is the classic. They're the Indiana of the Big Ten, the Rutgers of the Big Ten. They're just going, "Thank you for the money, sir. May I have another?" And then they get their ass kicked another year. So, well, it's worked out for them. The university is not in any trouble of going under anytime soon. But
God,
no, I agree, Joey. I mean, look at their schedule. They at Texas A&M will be tough, but did Texas A&M buy enough good recruits and coaching there?
Right.
You can never count out Vatek. So I don't care if they score 3 points, it might hold you to something. That's probably a 10-year-old take as well. It's like when anyone says Big 12 doesn't play any fucking defense, but I don't know. Hokies always have a soft spot with me. Florida State will always be a tough rivalry game at Clemson. Ooh, Pitt at the end of the year. That is a interesting game right there.
That's what I was saying. I don't think Pitt will be ranked that high at the end of the year because of no more Pickett. So
I'll be honest. I think Pitt's going to be overrated. They're out by probably week 4 or 5 out of the rankings. So
Yep. So, but going back to Mizzou, I was thinking I should look into going to some of their games. But the only good team they have at home is Georgia, and
they have to have a good team come in because they sure as hell aren't.
Yep, I will be in Georgia that weekend, so yeah, I won't be able to see that game happen.
Classic.
So
well, yeah.
You had other
they
schools around the Heartland, Bryant, on here. You had other schools around the Heartland for week 1, and well, my dad just texted me, "Go Jackrabbits." So
go Jackrabbits, yeah.
Joey might have something to say about that because they play Iowa week 1 now. South Dakota State, were they in the semifinals or the championship game for the FCS last year? They might have been.
It doesn't matter.
They're going to be tough, man. They're going to win week 1.
They won't score more than 7 points.
That's all it takes to beat a Big Ten team.
No, Iowa will be able to run all over
that high-scoring 6-point offense that Iowa's going to have
with the law firm coming back, Williams and Son. Yeah, they'll be just fine.
I'm glad you've trademarked that.
It just sounds like you're stuttering there.
I know, I did. Runs in the family.
Since we
Inside
say that
joke.
now, we point out when people fuck up when they're talking. So we're just gonna.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you sure you can handle this playoff team here? They only lost to State by 14 last year, Joey.
Yeah, but
Look
wasn't
at that.
Northern Iowa in that one too? Why am I just full screen it and not squint and get close to the screen like an idiot?
Too bad.
We're learning,
That's,
people.
oh, why do you? I thought you were saying why don't I do anything? I was gonna say that's the technology we got here, bud.
Yeah, no, that was me.
But yeah, I would say I threw in our Pulse of the Heartland teams. Yeah, South Dakota at Iowa. I think that's unfortunately, Joy, only because we don't know what Petrus can do just yet. I think it's going to be closer than what you think because that offense has got to show something. And because your defense will carry you, is your offense going to do anything and get into the top 25 so that you can lose the following week?
No. I can't wait to get $20 back. I may bet you guys some more that weekend.
By the way, I didn't miss that 17.5 spread or whatever you said. I was just going to be waiting until we were closer to it, so it was more relevant. But yeah, I would say Southeast Missouri at Iowa State. That'll be interesting to see what Hunter Deckers and Brock Jaleel. I mean, they should be able to run all over them, but we got a lot of brand new people. We got Will McDonald to carry the defense there, so we'll have to see how they do. And then, I mean, hell, Florida State at LSU for old Ryan. You think the Tigers pulled out, or do the Seminoles take one out of Death Valley?
I think LSU wins this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to be boring, I agree. It's just
Brian Kelly's got his dances and all that. His family.
So I was watching a little bit of ESPN this afternoon when I got back from traveling, and I didn't realize that they had like the best receiver in the nation until he got hurt last year. That Bootley or something like that for LSU. He still had stats enough to get invited to the Blitnikoff trophy thing, and he missed 6 games. Like, that's pretty fucking impressive. How were they not better last year?
Well, Ryan would tell you Max Johnson was the issue.
Yeah.
Oh God, we've heard enough about Max Johnson.
Doesn't even play there anymore.
But I mean, he still put up stats with at least one receiver. I mean, fuck, I'd take that at Iowa any day. So,
yeah. So Brad Carlson wants to know if he missed the Nebraska pick. Yes.
Yeah.
Nebraska
wins big.
We all picked them to win, right? Didn't you, Joey?
No, Joey has Northwestern winning.
You have Northwestern.
Yeah.
Okay. Bryant says big. Joey says Northwestern. I said it'll be closer than the spread.
So you say Northwestern covers. So we
say Nebraska wins. Northwestern covers.
What a terrible product we just put out. We literally said they're either going to cover, Northwestern's going to cover, and Nebraska wins, and then Nebraska or Northwestern wins. We literally have all 3 of the outcomes. That's terrible product.
That's what makes good content. We're not doing a betting show.
That's true. Yeah, I was gonna say, don't look at my betting history in college football. That's for fucking sure.
How boring would it be for us? Like, yep, all 3 of us agree.
I know I'm only 5'9" and 300, but I can tell you I'm way better at picking basketball for some reason, and I never played the fucking sport than I am college football. So I just sit back and enjoy it on Saturdays now. So, but what else we got? I think that was kind of
we got the Cox.
We got
the Cox, man.
I forgot to make the last. Yes, Trent, do you want to go into that just a little bit?
Yeah.
I didn't know where that was going for a second, and then I remember.
We got Cox.
We got Cox. Come on. Subscribe to Brian's OnlyFans.
Oh God, sorry. I finally got it pulled up. So I sent you guys this. This just happened today, but apparently there's a dispute between the old owners of their rooster, that is their mascot, and it was something with one of them believes when you cut the top of the head, I can't remember what it's called. I apologize. I'm not a farmer here, but one of the families believes it's maiming the animal. One family believes it doesn't. Well, the old family apparently owns the name of the rooster, so they have to rename it, and they have a poll going right now for.
Wait, this is South. This is South Carolina, by the way.
I'm sorry. Yes, yeah. I think
University
we said
of South Carolina. Yes.
South Carolina. They have to rename his name was I think it was Big Spur.
Big
Big
Sur
Spur, whatever. Yeah.
Mhm.
But they have to rename this rooster. And right now the top 3 names are Cluck Norris, Marco Pollo, and then leading with like 60% of the vote is Cock Commander. So if me, I'm a Cock Commander guy. I'll be honest, 100%.
Cock Commander better win.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. All 3 of those are pretty fucking good though.
I won't be disappointed with any one of them. But yeah.
No.
There's one that was like Broster or Brewster. Like it wasn't spelled correctly. Didn't make sense. There's Captain Cluck. They could go with Mother Clucker, and I would be 100% fine with
Mother
that
Clucker. Yeah.
How is
That's
that?
what I'm
Yeah.
saying, man.
The 3 that are in the top 3 and Mother Clucker should be top 4.
Yeah, I mean, there's some other like cutesy ones that they're trying to like filter in. Nope. When I don't care what the hell the subject, Cock Commander's gonna stick out there like a sore thumb. It's gonna command the room. So I don't know.
I want to prove this today, and I share my screen.
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
Yeah, we'll share it on screen if you. Oh, sorry. Let me add it in here. Look at that sweet little rooster there.
It's 100% true. Get off here with all these ads. And
Joey,
shit.
what's that tab open there? Scarlett Johansson grippers. What's that one about?
Show me
I don't know.
them grippies, girl.
Mm.
I'm on my work computer, so it better not be. But yeah,
Right there.
all
Right
these are true.
The true story behind Cock Commander. Oh shit. That while we're trying to find the part in the article with the actual poll, I think South Carolina is going to shock a few people this year. I think people have forgotten a little bit that Spencer Rattler's over there right now. I think last year we talk about how Scott Frost is the issue and kind of checked out. I think Riley is the same thing right now. Was that last year? He was just checked out. He didn't want to be doing anything. I think USC with Rattler, he gets his shit together. I mean, I think they'll shock a few people. I'm not saying they're going to the playoffs by any means, but I wouldn't be shocked if we're all of a sudden, middle of November going, shit, South Carolina's 6-2 or something, and they've upset a couple teams.
Right. Yep, I agree. Question for you. Who do you think has a better year, Caleb Williams or Spencer Rattler?
So where's Caleb Williams now?
USC.
The other
US,
USC.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, and also Caleb
I don't
Williams
know.
has the benefit of using his old coach and old system.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the Pac-12 is just that much weaker than the SEC. So, I think that one, unfortunately, we do have to give Caleb Williams the nod there. But I think Spencer Rattler is gonna shock some people. So, I mean, they do.
Right.
They do have a couple of tough games early here.
Yeah, that was my thought too. Like Caleb Williams being at USC is not going to face the gauntlet of the SEC.
Right, but I still think Spencer Rattler can help them against like the Kentuckys and the mid tiers of the SEC schools, and put up a lot of fucking stats. So I'm probably with you guys and saying Caleb Williams will, but I could see Spencer Rattler having a good year.
Yeah, I don't see him having a bad year. I mean, he's a good quarterback. I mean, if you want to hate him, go watch QB1 on Netflix.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to be a fan of him. I've never watched it, but from what I've heard, I really don't want to. But yeah, I mean, they are on the road versus Arkansas. They do have a couple tough games at home, though. They get Georgia at home, and then they get Texas A&M at home. They get that daunted Missouri at home too. But I mean, the toughest games on the road, Clemson, and then they do have to go at Arkansas. I mean, it's a typical SEC schedule. Everyone's tough that you're going to play, but I mean, 8-4 at the end of the year isn't going to be shocking. I mean, 7-5, I think at least.
They could definitely have a harder SEC West schedule. I mean, Arkansas and A&M isn't Alabama, LSU, Auburn, those guys. So
I was just gonna say Bama isn't on the schedule.
Right.
Yeah, and then you also got what Florida are you going to get? So I mean, I mean, I think until we see what Spencer Rattler can actually do, and against, I mean, he played well versus tough Big 12 defenses. I mean, let's see how he can actually compete with these tough SEC defenses. So I don't know.
Right.
I think they're going to shock quite a few people though. So
Right. I know Brian and I normally do a Heisman poll with a couple other buddies and stuff. And that type of spirit, I would hate to not touch on. Do you guys have any individual players you think are going to stand out this year? And where do you think they're going to come from?
just in the country in general, or are you talking like our schools?
Oh, sure. Either one. I just want to know who you guys think individually is going to be good.
Well, I mean, obviously the easy choice is going to be, the Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. I'm trying to think outside the box here.
So the reason I bring this up is because
you go first since you brought up the question here.
So there's a quarterback for NC State that put up a lot of big stats last year. I'm trying to remember his name. I just saw it today on ESPN, and I think he's going to be one to watch out for the Heisman and everything as well. So Devin Leary is who it is.
Okay.
Put up some big stats last year, and they've got a pretty decent schedule. I wouldn't be surprised if they make a run at Miami for that that ACC stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I am completely getting rid of Clemson in this discussion because I hate Dabo Swinney.
Hey, remember I said they're way overrated.
Clemson. You did.
At 4,
that's right.
Way overrated.
Mm-hmm.
They are.
But then I also think that LSU receiver is going to be good again. And then I don't know. Michigan's defensive line looked amazing last year, and I know they got a couple guys returning, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get another Adrian Hutchinson type player coming off of that.
I was going to say, here's another bold prediction: a defensive player is invited to the Heisman Trophy presentation.
Nice. Yep.
Okay. I like
that. I don't know who it is, but it's going to happen.
Probably that Williams from Alabama.
Yeah. So him and Bryce Young. Go on.
I guess, Joey, this one's going to be a homer pick, but because I can't really think anyone else, I'm going to go with not only Will McDonald is going to when he ends his career, be the Big 12 career sack leader here. I'm trying to get my computer on to unfreeze here so I can pull it up. But right now, he's only 4 away Miller all time.
Yeah, nice. He'll probably have that by the end of Iowa.
Yeah,
so by the end of the second game,
Spencer Petras is going to be crying.
Well, I'm just saying he could have 5 versus.
Pulling up for you guys.
He could have
at all.
Yeah.
Yep, there it is.
He could have 5 versus Southeast Missouri.
Gigantic. So I didn't know Jaquan was so high. He's 7th, but yeah, we got Will McDonald at 29 right now. He's going to pass Beal by the end of the first game here, and then Von Miller 4 sacks. I mean that should be in the first, and he's just going to add to that total. So a bit of a cop out there, Joey, but Will McDonald.
Okay, I'll take it. I mean, I don't know much about him, so cool.
Well, good, because I'm not going to give you another answer. So
don't need one.
Oh shit! So I don't know. Any final thoughts here, guys?
Just excited for football, meaningful football to be back. We are 30? Oh, not little. We're 38 hours away, guys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty fucking stoked for it as well. So can't wait to see Nebraska cover the spread. I'm going to look so right the next time we talk. It's going to be amazing.
I hope you're right, Brian.
No, Joey's just not even entertained by it at this point.
Wrong. I just wrong.
Alrighty, well, I do appreciate. We've had quite a few guys in the chat chiming in, so I do appreciate you guys joining us here. And say if you're just hearing it for the first time, Joey, can you give them the socials?
Yep. Instagram and Twitter at Heartland Pulse. And then if you look us up on Facebook and YouTube, just search Pulse of the Heartland. If you're commenting on it now, you can see it already on that YouTube channel. And look up all of our other old videos and stuff. Season 2, we're just starting now, and we'll be coming back out hard and heavy for the next few months, guys.
Yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Appreciate the new guy here. We got a new subscription name.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Every little bit helps, so we do appreciate it, guys.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll see you guys later. Again, appreciate the listen.